Christian boomer comics at Christmas, mean-spirited, a downer, Winnie, yelled about red Starbucks cups energy. We wish you a merry non-religious specific day off in winter. We wish you a merry non-religious specific day off in winter. We wish you a merry non-religious specific day off in winter, and a happy new year. Why are you looking at your GPS? To make sure we are still in America. Jewish boomer comics at Christmas. Delightful. Oops. Wrong home. Forget wrong home. Get in here before you freeze your touches off. Sit. I'll put on some coffee. In addition to the fact that people just have different natural rhythms, a big reason why we can't seem to go to bed as early as we should is that nighttime is, for many of us, our safest and most fulfilling time of day. We don't have to work. We won't be contacted by bosses or insurance companies or collection agencies or other suffocating life business. We are likely only to be contacted by our friends, or by no one at all. Nighttime is release. It's ours. We can rest or recreate. We can do things we actually want to do. Who would choose to cut that short, just to usher in the next morning, when our lives are not our own again? Nighttime is precious, and nothing could be more normal than the desire to embrace this. So, you'll remember that post that said animals in urban areas slowly became nocturnal to avoid encounters with humans? Apparently that includes humans. I have no will to live. I will have to live on. Anagram robot, find anagrams for stuff. I know I don't always make sense, but I'm getting better. We think Greeks were a very rational people and all, until we learn about the Baphonia, an Athenian ritual, where a laboring ox had to be sacrificed, but at the same time, this was considered a terrible crime, so when the priest killed it with an axe, he had to throw it aside, and get the F out of there running for his life. Then the rest of the people discovered the crime scene, and blamed the axe, the only one present. The axe was immediately carried before the court of the Prytaneum, which charged the axe with having caused the death of the ox. Sometimes it was absolved, others, it was thrown into the sea. You cannot tell me they didn't do all of this with a sense of humor. I used to wear a chainmail shirt to elementary school. The teachers never knew what to do about it, because there was no section in our dress code forbidding medieval armor. Where does an elementary school child get access to an actual shirt of chainmail sized properly for them? Growing up as a historical reenactment, that my parents are friends with lots of people who make chainmail. My god sister received a real rapier in 4th or 5th grade, so our unsupervised outdoor playtime was formative. It's a sword. They are not meant to be safe. Sit quietly at your desk for a few minutes, get up, say, "That was easy," and turn in your quiz. Do not say anything to Jerry and Robbie. And they said college would be harder than high school. I'm dying to know what Jerry and Robbie did to invoke the wrath of the professor. Polls show that 34% of Americans will vote for. What polls? Homst is being polled. Have never once in my life been polled. What is the sample size? What is the sample demographic? Is it really 34% of Americans? Or is it 34% of Americans who answer random numbers on their landline? Poll this PP. As a statistician, these are exactly the questions you should ask when interpreting a poll. In fact, you shouldn't have to ask. A data scientist doing their job will provide that information up front. How the random sample was taken, who was polled, and what demographics were potentially left out of the poll. If that information isn't there, don't trust it. The one thing I learned in college is most statistics are bullshit and almost never represent what they wanted to represent. Please stop adding "there are two kinds of people" 3 and that escalated quickly 3 to text posts. There are 2 kinds of rapid escalation. Well, that people twicely. Shout out to people with simultaneously great and terrible memories. Like, oh yeah, I remember in perfect detail that random story you told about the banana costume from a year ago, but all of November, completely blank. I can't stop sending this cat to people, so I may as well draw him. I absolutely love this cat, so I'm glad you did this. My kid has started to write stories and no lies, they're funny as F. Actual dialogue. To your battle stations. Boys, it's time to line up and see who's tall enough for the roller coaster to hell. Some of us may not survive this, but the ones that do will get the ultimate reward, paid. Here's a penny for your thoughts, and a quarter to not tell me them. Everyone knows those quiet girls, the ones who never say anything at school unless a teacher makes them, the ones who you see every day but don't know what they sound like when they laugh. Lindsay is not one of those girls, but the teacher wishes she was. Lindsay was always loud, especially when she was being kind. She didn't smile at people to make them happier. She screamed all the reasons they shouldn't be sad. It was hard not to listen. I can't wait to read this book, to be honest. Thanks for all the love. The story is part 1 in a series she's gonna write called The 23 Islands, and it's about a planet with 23 island-like lands that have like nothing around them, an unknown drop and total darkness surrounding them, and each island is like a different thing. I don't know how to explain it, but one island is like an ancient rainforest, and one is snowy mountains, and one is like still in the Middle Ages, but another has flying cars, and it's about a group of friends trying to find a way off their island, because it's dangerous there, and hopefully to a more habitable one. Guess they don't find it though, because each book is a different island. So in Russian, nouns are either animate or inanimate grammatically, depending on whether they move. Well, the Russian word for corpse is animate, which raises quite a few terrifying questions about Russia's past. Rasputin's influence was extensive. I was on the subway today, and when the train got delayed, this little kid was like, F, and a literal chorus of grown-ups went, hey, let him say F. I was at a crossing once, and a kid's dad said back quote, and we have to wait for the green man, and the 30 people on this crossing all stood waiting for the green man, just to prove to this kid that that's what you do. I've never seen anyone wait for the green man on this crossing before. You just go when it's clear. But everyone waited. Corollary to it takes a village is that you're gonna get a village, whether you ask for it or not. I'll sometimes take a chance at pedestrian crossings if the road is clear, but am physically incapable of doing so if a child is waiting to cross too, even if the road is empty for a mile in either direction. Oh, this is a mood. I do not want to be the goon responsible for a little kid rushing out into moving traffic just because they saw the lady in the red coat do it. Lead by example. All humans understand this, and the majority follow this. Because even if they aren't aware of it, none of them want to be the example a kid thinks of before they get themselves killed. I once crossed the street before the signal happened, and a kid on the opposite side pointed at me and was like, he crossed too early, and his dad went, yes, and that's dangerous. And I looked the kid dead in the eye and went, I've been hit by a car 3 times. Listen to your father. I can't believe Americans on TV really say rock, paper, scissors like it's paper, scissors, rock. Oh my god, do you in real life Americans actually say rock, paper, scissors? Random boner this with whether you say paper, scissors, rock or rock, paper, scissors. Me normally, linguistic differences are so interesting and cool. I love hearing different dialectal variations. Me, reading paper, scissors, rock with my own 2 eyeballs. The Lord is testing me. I put my phone down and can't find it. A saga. Want me to call it? It's on silent. A tragedy in 3 parts. I'll call it anyway. Everyone stands around really quietly listening for a faint buzzing noise. A comedy. I thought I lost my phone, only to realize I was holding it in my other hand. A lesson in situational awareness. How the F California in it out? There's water to the left of y'all. Like. Go get it. It's always been there. You know how hard it is to take salt water and make it drinkable? Not that simple. Why won't you start with removing the salt from your attitude? Repressed gay cowboy when their shared room at the inn only has 1 bed. This bed ain't big enough for the both of us. Their love interest, not with that attitude. Partner. Cowboy. Partner. And they were Salanmates. Great graphic. Very helpful for selecting apples in regard to baking, but one amendment should be considered. A red delicious isn't an apple, it's a wet clump of bitter sand. Red delicious is what floral foam probably tastes like, if it were readable.